Alright guys, check this shit out. I got it broke free and I beat the recoil with the hammer and it now works again. However, I know the recoil has issues. It needs cleaned. I almost would put money the second this thing goes outside and it gets cold, that recoil won't work again. But for now, I'm just pretty freaking excited. This thing freed up. I'm pretty sure the rings were stuck. Can't say anything for the bottom end, but there is a large amount of two-stroke oil, penetrating oil, and also a little WD for cleaning all blended in the bottom end of this thing. So yeah, I've kind of just been working it, and I don't know, I'm not sure if it'll work out or not. I think there's some bad bearings, but you know what? We could slap a head on this thing and see if it runs. I mean, why not? What's worse that can happen? Kill a couple cylinders? Big deal. I think we should throw a head on it, see if this piece of shit runs. Oh yeah, bought a brand new turbo. So this is a GT 2871. That's what this thing is. I can't remember all the specs on it because I'm not that smart with turbos. But it's set up for 8 PSI, which is going to be excessive. But I kind of want to put this on a sled. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool. Build a oil tank. Have a little inline pump to feed it. Bro. It must be hungry. That's an empty bag. Yeah, put a little tank, inline oil pump to keep this thing cool. Build an air box, charge pipes, hot pipes, all that crap. And then do a little research on boost, referencing fuel pressure for the carburetors. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not turboing this sled, I don't think. But I do want to put that turbo on a sled. I don't know what sled yet, but I want to. Anyways. Hey, Bellrain. Little Loki. He's a terror, but he's being a good puppy. Okay, the puppy's sleeping, which means I get to work in the garage. Worst idea ever, but I'm throwing a freaking head on this thing. We're going to throw some pre-mixed fuel in this and try to get it running. I mean, this is an absolutely terrible idea. Just, the crank's got to be bad. It has to be. There's no way it's not. But she pulls over pretty smooth. Sounds all right. I'm not hearing any crusty crunch, nothing like that. So fuck it. Let's send this piece of shit to heaven or make it run. However, first, I'm going to clean this shit up a little bit. It's driving me nuts. Okay, I feel much better about working on this thing now. She's still pretty dirty, but at least I don't have it doesn't have its own ecosystem growing on it. So that's a little bit better. Just a little bit better. All right. Let's see what we can get going here. I got to find head bolts because this originally had a power dome setup. Unfortunately, I don't see the hardware anywhere for the power dome setup. And yes, I have a couple more setups, but I don't want to sacrifice my only set of hardware for an SLP power dome setup on this thing. Like I said, I want to do more or less a stock build on this, so I'm gonna have to dig through all my parts. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I got a head right there with everything. Boom, perfect. We're gonna skip using this one. They don't have a sensor, nothing in it. Plus, this is for a newer motor anyways. Not that it really makes much of a difference. But into the motor pile that goes. We'll just slap that setup right on here. Okay, use some compressed air. Clean out the grooves for the O-rings. I don't anticipate this going real well, so I'm just throwing some used head gasket O-rings. They're O-rings. If they're in good condition, they're probably still just fine. But, like I said, I don't really expect this to really go well. So, yeah, used it is. I guess it's time to slap a head on this son of a gun. Okay, I was told this thing had a bad head gasket. I'm learning it had much more wrong than that. Yeah, so those just kind of fell into the cylinder. So they're not going to do fuck all. So that cylinder needs helicoiled at absolute bare minimum because the holes are fucked. Well, we still have majority of the bolts in and tightened up. We're still gonna fucking send it. Just see what it sounds like. I'm not gonna put no coolant in it because that's gonna make a fucking dirty mess. But you know, sometimes we just gotta do what we gotta do, boys. And today, it is some ghetto ass shit. Because I want to see if this motherfucker runs. So we'll probably prime it up with some of that premix air. Throw some in the tank because it's empty. And I don't even know if I'll throw coolant hose on it. We might not. But we're going to see if this fucker runs one way or another. Alright, we got my phone set up on this here tripod. Just put some fuel in it. It's primed. Fuel's on. This is on. Ignition's unplugged. So this crap off of here. So it'll rattle and fall. Yeah. So we're about to find out if it'll make noise or fizzle out. Some ugly sounding crank noises. Yeah, it's not pretty, but we're not done. We're gonna keep going. Okay, so I reprimed the cylinders, turned my fan on, opened the man door because this is some really gross smelling stuff. I cleaned the spark plugs because this thing is pumping out a ton of two-stroke WD-40 penetrating oil, and last but not least, rust. So yeah, here we go. Come on, man. More gas, apparently. This thing sounds terrible. Okay, so I'm just gonna, it's still smoking out a little. I'm just gonna turn the motor over with my drill. The way I do that, I got a 1/2-inch chuck in the drill, put my socket on it, throw it on the clutch bolt, spinner. Just kind of hopefully get some of the crap out of the motor and fully prime the fuel system. So give that a shot, see how this turns out. Okay, so I just gave this thing a solid 15-20 seconds on the grill. Hopefully that's enough to prime the fuel system. I didn't put any extra fuel in the cylinders or anything this time. I'm just hoping it'll be enough for this to fire on its own. Probably not, but we shall see. out. Hey, that's not a good two-stroke snow. That's garbage. That's what that is. Technically, it does run. Pretty bad though. It doesn't sound that great. It doesn't, I mean, I've heard worse by far, but I don't know. It actually, the longer I ran it, the better it sounded. So, either way, no matter how we look at this thing, it has stripped bolt holes in the cylinder, so I at minimum have to replace one cylinder, but or put helicoils in it, which would be just fine as well. But so if I have to rebuild it, no matter what, I might as well build a whole new motor for this thing. Kind of where I'm at, but for now, I can say yes, it does run. Not that great, but it does run.